Hello, hello, hello. Um, Merry Christmas Eve. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Kev, you just checking in. Mela, Jody, and those the rest of y'all in the clouds coming in. All right. So it's Christmas Eve. A lot of things going on. The store's been crazy. Um, People been just trying to get their stuff done down this way. Yeah. So, okay, so everybody knows about the freeze. Yeah, we've been hearing it on the news. Been trying to do like we do with every emergency: get our water, get our stuff, get your Christmas shopping done, whether it's for the food for Christmas dinner or the present, because you try not to get out there and stuff like that. Feel sorry for the first responders and the essentials, people that work at the hospitals and all that, police and stuff like that, because they gotta be out in this. But as for the rest of us, I don't think we should be out in it. I ain't stepped out. I was mad because 15 minutes ago somebody came knocking at my door. Like, who the hell is out in this weather? It was somebody that was trying to find my neighbor. My neighbor probably be cursing me out right now because she don't like to be bothered neither. Hey, why you show them where I stay at? But hey, it's you or me, and that's the way the cold weather is. Ooh, my goodness! Oh my goodness, it's cold. I ain't even been outside my house yet. It's like 26. Um, and I ain't stepped outside my house since Thursday. No. Yeah, Thursday morning. Had to go get something I left in the car. I thought I had hauled everything in. I missed something. And I made a mistake and just went out there in my, it's a dress, but it's like, it's kind of low and flowing. Usually I'm layered up, but I was in a hurry. I'm thinking it's sunny outside. Those of you in those areas where I'm at, where the sun is out, and you think, oh, it's not that cold. The sun is out, but you're in the house. You don't see the wind whipping through them trees. Okay, I went out. I was like, brace myself. Had my jacket, my thick socks, my shoes, my earmuff headband on. Oh my goodness, Jody, you had to get out in this. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you're back home and warm now. But make sure you got everything. So you don't have to go. In fact, I need to get some milk. I'm improvising. I was like, nah, a little bit of milk I got is just fine. No, I don't really need it. If push come to shove, I use the powdered milk. Uh, or I thin out the cream I have. I don't think I'm gonna need all of it because I decided I'm going to do eggnog from scratch, but without the whiskey. There was some kind of misunderstanding. Maybe they just didn't want to do it. I didn't put down the whiskey. Uh, but then again, we're not really big liquor drinkers anyhow. Shooks. So it ain't no big deal. We sweet fiends, but Oh yeah. So yeah, those who had to get out there, people were calling me. It's like, do we have to do it today? You know, I'm like, why are you calling me about this now? Why weren't you calling me about this earlier when everybody was running before the cold hit? Nothing is really moving. The fact that my neighbor knocking, I thought I heard some people popping fireworks earlier when the sun was still up. But now it's completely quiet. That's how cold it is. It is so cold. It's driven people who love to go all out for fireworks to stay in their house. No, they ain't coming out. You absolutely, yes, absolutely. I'm home with the heat on. Just finished putting plastic to cover my windows. That's how cold it is. I ain't even bothered with that, shooks. Forget it. I ain't going out. So I don't need to cover my windows for plastic. Although my aunt did hint at it. I said, where we going? We ain't going nowhere. We gonna stay right here. I ain't moving. She ain't moved neither. She ain't even got by the front door. She moved all the way back to her room. Um, but yeah, that's how cold it is. It's we're already sensitive. I thought it was cold at 40 and 50. 20? Nah. Mm-mm. Our elderlies are staying put. Those that's sensitive to arthritis and that cold weather, they ain't move neither. They'll send everybody else out. Oh, babe, can you run to the store and pick it? Oh, you going to the store? Could you pick me up this, and that? No, they're not trying to get out there if they can help it. Yep. So it's gonna be interesting. So there won't be no surprise people coming up knocking. Hey, we came by to visit real quick and see what you got in your pots. That's why sometimes, even though I know it's just me and my aunt, I cook extra just in case somebody come. You know, it don't always happen, but you never know. But who wrap gifts? No, I'm throwing them in a bag, put some paper over it. There's no wrapping no gifts now. No. So technically, I didn't wrap my gifts. But I do have to throw my gift in the bag. And one gift I gave away, well, actually, I had something that I wasn't using. I had it for the longest. And my cousin's like, you still ain't used that yet? You might as well give it to me. I can use it. And I was trying not to give it away. I was like, okay, I'm finna use it. I got my stuff. I'm going to use it. Did I use it? No. I did tell her, hey, if I don't use it by Christmas, I'll give it to you. Well, she happened to come, and I had to accept with myself. I had all the stuff, and I still ain't cracked that box open yet to use. I didn't even crack it open to see, like. So I went ahead and stopped by it, and I gave it to her. I said, when I get around to actually doing something, I'll just get me another one. Yeah, so I gave her present unwrapped. Well, she kind of knew it was coming. I told her if I didn't use it. So she's like, oh, thank you, So I didn't even have to wrap a gift. The other one is just a mere formality. I'm just throwing it in the bag, put paper over the top. I like that, and then I can reuse them. Yeah, me and my cousin was laughing because I sent her a gift one time in a bag that she sent me. We rotating Christmas bags and birthday bags. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, hey, Auntie. So I've also been experimenting this year. Every Christmas, I'm experimenting with something. This Christmas, I experimented with making a banana. No, that was Thanksgiving. I experimented with making banana pudding from where the pudding is from scratch, mainly because I couldn't find my cook and serve, my vanilla cook and serve that I use when I make banana pudding. So I ran into a church member. She said, "Well, why don't you just make it from scratch?" And she just told me all the ingredients. She didn't tell me how much, it was for this much or whatever, and how long. And so I kind of looked up the recipe that had every ingredient she said in there, and then I just went on it. It was good. As a fact, only thing is she said milk. I use heavy cream. It was fantastic. Oh, it was. It might have been a little thicker than regular pudding, so it's more like a banana custard. But shoot, it was good. I was eating it up. Um, I brought some eggnog. Tasted it today. It tasted horrible. Threw that crap out. Oh my goodness! How did you get bad eggnog? Oh wait. Oh, in the store. Yeah, in store eggnog don't last very long. Over here. Oh, heavy cream is even better, or half and half. Okay, good. I thought so. Uh, Somebody I'm not gonna name that we all know said I didn't need to use the heavy cream. Who does that? Mm-hmm. So for Christmas, I'm going to do eggnog from scratch. I got my eggs, I got my milk, well, my cream. See, I'm still on the cream thing, so I'm going to use cream, and I'm going to follow the recipe a little bit. So if I'm going, they just said cinnamon nutmeg. I'm going to add a little ginger to it too. So let's see how that comes out. Oh, peach cobbler. Peach cobbler. We talking about with canned peaches or real fresh peaches? Although I heard it come out good either way. Um, I tend to use like a crunch. I don't do the cobbler too much. I've seen so many different versions of a peach cobbler. I've seen one where they use something like cake mix. I've seen one where they do the pie dough. It's pretty much a peach pie. My personal favorite is where I use the oatmeal crunch. Oh, okay. Well, then where we get? Shoot, my store we had some peaches. I didn't think about asking where those peaches came from, because I guess it didn't come from Georgia. Well, yeah. So I'm experimenting with the eggnog. I'll tell you how it come out next ladies' night, because I'm either gonna do it tonight or I'm gonna do it in the morning. Well, no, I'm probably gonna do it tonight because hey, just in case electricity go out. I never thought I'd be in it, but I'm in an all electric place. I've grown up and always been where there's a gas because, hey, if the electricity go out, cold weather, you always have the gas. Mm. I'm a banana pudding and cheesecake person. Don't do peach cobbler, but I do peach cobbler crust only. Peach cobbler is good with vanilla ice cream. No, for some reason I didn't get no vanilla ice cream. I guess because all that cold weather, I wasn't thinking about nothing else cold. I'm probably going to regret it later. And I shouldn't even really be doing the banana pudding because, hey, I got the cake. Okay. You see, we start talking about Christmas food. Oh, that reminds me. Oh, let me see. Oh, well, she probably got it herself. I had did a. I didn't do it. I got it from a place. Um, um, and they had the bourbon peach cobbler. I didn't get a chance to take it. It was supposed to be for my cousin for his birthday. I thought he was still in Georgia. Well, it'd be Atlanta to be precise. It was his birthday. And but I didn't have his address. So I sent it to his mom address, figured she'd get it to him. Then I find out, no, that boy is all the way in Virginia. I was like, Virginia? Oh my goodness. Well, there's no way. I said, okay, well, do what y'all want with it, throw it away, eat it. Well, I didn't think she was gonna eat it because she's a teetotaler. That's another way of saying she don't drink. I do admit I've seen her drink a glass of champagne for weddings, certain celebrations, but it's a glass of wine. So imagine my surprise. I warned her that there was real alcohol in that cobbler. It's supposed to be. And don't let the kids have any, and make sure whoever's eating it don't have to drive. So I didn't think nothing of it till she called me to find out where I got this from. And when she found out it was there in Georgia itself and stuff like in Atlanta, I think Atlanta, somewhere in suburb areas of Atlanta and stuff like that. She said it's really good, and I was surprised. You eating it? Yeah, her and her husband were eating it, and they really enjoy it. She's talking about getting it for her church. Her church is the ones that's the severe teetotal. I can't imagine her getting it for a church. I said, you do know there's bourbon in this thing, right? Not bourbon flavoring, bourbon, the real one. You can get drunk off this thing if you eat enough of it. The lights went out here last night and it was 3 degrees. We almost froze to death. Now it's a little warmer at 22. I ain't going to make it till Christmas. Yeah, all gonna have to pile up in the bed, grab all the blankets and all pile up in one bed by the heat. That's why one of the things I grabbed was hand warmers. Although because we have it in the hunting department in Walmart because it was hunt. Oh my goodness, did people go hunting? Because this Christmas also hunting season. I wonder if they went hunting. Well, explains why hand warmers was hard to find. But they had this big one about the size of these big well it could cover mostly your front or your back and stuff like that. But it's a hand warmer, or it was designed for that, but it'll keep like the central part of your body. I had imagined if the electricity go out, I said I should have put the money on, grabbed a bunch of those. That way I could just put them on the bed, then put the sheet over it. Then we can lay around it in the central in case we have to bundle up together. But that's what it's going to have to be, that everybody's going to have to pile up in one bed, and y'all going to have to bring all the covers and get in there together. I know when we had an ice storm, that's what we did. Unless you happen to have a fireplace. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's what happened with my cousin. But my cousin and um his wife, but they had a fireplace, just that she didn't know how to use the fireplace. Come to think of it, we didn't know how to use the fireplace neither. But luckily they had a neighbor, because they didn't know they were supposed to open some kind of vent or something in there, and the smoke backed into the house. Then she almost set the kitchen on fire. Oh, okay. All right, Mela, I see you. I see you. Here we go. Let me put the link down again for anybody else coming up. Hey, Merry Christmas, Mela.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Blessings to you and the ones you love.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. I
Okay.
had to restart my device to make sure I didn't, my interruption. You're less likely to be interrupted if you restart the device from what they told me.
Uh-huh.
So I hit the link earlier and I thought to myself, let me go ahead and reboot this so there's no interruptions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you might want to place the link in there if you want other people to join you, but I had already had the link. I just had to restart the device. So
Okay.
I missed what you was talking. When I restarted it, you was talking about the weather.
Oh yeah. How's it where you at?
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. It's not as bad as it was yesterday because the snow was blowing sideways.
Mm.
So it's not so much snow anymore. It's just temperatures are around 11 degrees and the wind chill is below zero. So it's a
Mhm.
typical, winter up here, in Illinois. It, that's not really unusual. It's for people that aren't having uh it's for people that are having shelter problems. Like for instance, there was this apartment building fire uh, that I didn't even check. I just saw the headline and that was enough for me. But that is a thing. Like for whatever reason, people they I don't know what they're doing, if they're like opening their stove ovens or gas
Mhm.
space heaters with faulty electricity. I don't know what they're doing, but there had been a history of apartment building fires that started because people were trying to keep themselves warm,
Mhm.
during these frigid temperatures. And I just want people to be sensible when they do stuff like that. It's like I understand about being warm, but at the same time, you you got to be smart because the consequences of not, man, that's just a messed up holiday, man. You know what I'm saying? You think you getting things together for the holiday, and you got to evacuate because of an apartment fire. That's like not my idea of a good time, you
Wow.
know. So shout outs and prayers to people that are going through unforeseen circumstances. I'm not here to blame anybody. People are doing what they got to do. I'm just saying that circumstance, when that headline came across the screen, I was like, that would be so messed up. You know, that would be so messed up. In these temperatures, you know, and you got to relocate. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So that's and then of course we're not gonna talk about the homeless people that's probably in the city doing what it is they already know how to do.
Mhm.
Um, and everybody that may or may not consider themselves unfortunate this holiday. I hope that people find something to be somewhat grateful for.
Right.
Um, I know that's, you know, not everybody's situation, but it's just but anyway, I don't want to talk about the depressive stuff. Like, I was wondering if you're interested in your recollection of the top black, like the top black greatest Christmas songs. How far can you go? Because I found a list of 50 of them online.
Whoa.
But I was like 50. I was like, I couldn't have come up with 50 if they would have paid me. But apparently there are 50 greatest black, exclusively black performed Christmas songs.
Mm.
And I'm familiar with a handful of them that
Yeah.
stand out. But and I don't
Mm.
I don't necessarily rate them by my favorite or otherwise. I just know, like, right off the grip, for me, off the grip, there's the Nat King Cole, there's Mariah Carey,
Yeah.
there's the Donny Hathaway, there's Diana Ross, and the Temptations. That's pretty much it. You know.
There's a few like gospel singers like CC and
Hmm.
Wine. I'm trying to think of some others. Um, yeah, I was listening to one I didn't know about from Legacy. Um, that I didn't know she had done. Um, there's even one or two from Whitney Houston, and
I believe you, and I've never heard. I don't know what she. I know she's saying something, but I don't. Even what's her name? The beauty queen herself. What's her name? Vanessa. She did a Christmas song. So
mhm.
it is a thing. It's just that the more popular ones have stood out all my
Yeah,
life.
yeah, and I was looking for one for the play over here. I settled on Donnie Hathaway. I listened to the one with Donnie. They did one where his song this Christmas, where they did with him and his daughter, and I was like, that don't sound right. I think they made a mistake. They didn't do something right.
Hmm.
So I just went with
I
his.
haven't heard that one, but I I'll take your word for it if it's not worth listening to. I'll take your word for it. I don't like to see stuff that upsets me sometimes, but sometimes I am curious and I will check it out. But I'll take your word for it. I won't check it out.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, because I was curious because I know they did the same thing with n- um I can't say his name without saying King Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole duet with his Unforgettable.
Did you like it?
Yeah,
I
I
loved it.
actually did like it.
I think it's precedent. I think it sets a precedent. Like, if you're gonna do a dedication to your parent and mix and use technology to mix your voices together, do that. Okay, that's the blueprint, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
She did that, and her mother gave her a lot of flack when she brought the idea up. She's like, "Mom, I'm gonna you know, I got this idea with Dad's song, and I'm singing in with it." And she was like, "No, no." She was hating on that. She's like, "No, no." And then, as it turns out, her mother loved it. She was like, "Wow, I didn't know it's gonna be that beautiful." You
Yeah.
know, yeah. But
Yes.
that's the blueprint. If you're gonna do a duet of someone that's famous for a song that's no longer with us, and you want to incorporate the technology to blend your voice in a duet with them, that's the blueprint right there,
Hmm. Hmm.
hands down.
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't follow the blueprint, and I think what it is, she also did it live. Look, it sounded like she did it live. So he's a recording, and she's live. And then something was off about her voice. You know.
I didn't see the live one. I only saw the video. The pre-approved Vivo video, the official video as they call it. I never saw. I knew there was a live one, but I never sat down and watched it and critiqued it. Cause to me, the original official video was good enough for me. I don't need to see her doing it live just to get some concert tickets or whatever she doing back then.
Mm-hmm.
But that video, that was cute. That was so cute. That was, and when I say cute, I don't mean like monkeys. I'm talking about that was like wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was even looking at some Christmas rap like Run DMC and
right.
okay, Max had already did Curtis Blow, and let me see, there was let's see, well that wasn't technically a rap, that was Christmas in the Ghetto, and what was the other one? Dang it! But I didn't care for him. I was like,
You remember James Brown? Santa Claus goes straight to the ghetto. Santa
yeah,
Claus
that's what it was. It was James Brown. It was straight to the ghetto.
goes straight to the ghetto. Oh man. Can you imagine James Brown with a Santa Claus hat on? Lord
Yeah, I
have
seen him in the. It was the red spandex I had a problem with.
He was so
It was the red
crazy.
spandex unitard.
He was
Oh
when he got on
no!
those drugs, he went crazy, man. Wearing all them tight clothes, knowing he old. The
Mhm.
best thing I've ever seen James Brown dressed in was that pastor's robe in Blues Brothers. That is like like everything else, I was like, man, you do it too much, man. You do it too much.
Mm-hmm.
But he made his mark on this planet. His name will live as long as people can remember him. So he did what he had to do. But when he would have, yeah, when he was in that church, being that pastor, come on, do you see the light? And the Blues Brothers was like, we
Yeah.
see the light. And everybody, I don't know if you remember the scene where everybody was just getting the Holy Ghost all at once. And they was doing backflips, and you could tell they was doing trampoline flips. Man, but that's the best outfit I've ever seen James Brown in. It fit him.
Mm-hmm.
That pastor's robe and the Blues Brothers. That's about it. All that other stuff, I was like, man, I guess he got to dress the part. I guess.
Yeah.
Who else
Yeah.
did? Oh, what's his name? God rest his soul as well. What is his name? Luther Vandross. How could I? Oh
Oh
God,
yeah,
dang
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was
he did
looking.
some nice things.
Yeah, he did, but it was a little slower, so I was looking for something a little faster, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to find a peppy Christmas song.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are peppy, but yeah, what is a real other than rap?
There was something
Um,
about riding a sleigh, but they were talking
Slave
about snow.
Alexander O'Neal, Sleigh Ride. I
And I was
think.
like, I don't think anybody want to hear about no snow or sleigh riding in the snow. Although we didn't get no snow here, but I wasn't expecting any snow, even though it
Hmm.
said it was gonna snow. I
So,
expected ice, but I think
well,
so far there's no ice. But I ain't got out to sea.
I'm glad you didn't have to shovel.
Oh, me too. I
Hmm.
probably never get anywhere. I'm sorry. I can't get my car out the snow. You talking to a girl who would gladly look for a guy to change the tire, even though I can. I really don't want to. It takes me forever. I be praying for somebody to stop. I be looking for the police. Oh no, police better not come near me when I got a flat tire. I'll flag them down, jump in front of the car. Hey, I need you to change my tire.
I was taught how to change a tire,
Mhm.
like manually as well as with the hydraulic. However, it didn't escape me to get a triple A membership because I'm not trying to be bothered with that. Like, in a crunch, okay, I could do it. How? But that's not the point. The point is, do I want to do it? And no, I don't. Like, it's like, I find it more beneficial to have a triple A membership where nationwide they will come see about you. Nationwide. That's the difference between having car insurance where you got the roadside assistance with your car insurance versus triple A. Triple A is like if you just go on a road trip on a humbug and something happens, God forbid,
Mhm.
triple A got you as long as you can call them, as long
Yeah.
as you're a member. They got you. And then you can assign people um that same type of protection too. Like if I got a relative that lives in New Jersey, I can put them under the membership. So if they got a problem, they have their membership number.
Oh,
So
and
that
don't forget the one that if you riding with other people, we
mm,
had that one for a while. So if they broke down somewhere, it's like, okay, we're gonna call AAA. Oh, I'm not a member, but I am.
but I am
But my car ain't. It said no. As long as I'm in your car, you remember we getting AAA.
right. Membership has its privileges. That's right.
Uh,
And it was just it's just something that I wanted to keep around. I think it's important that uh because I don't know, I found out there are loved ones that have like that BS car coverage, like they don't have full coverage, they got what they call it bare minimum. I don't know what that bare minimum is.
liability,
Yeah, they only got
liability.
liability, they got the minimum, right? They got liability, and it's like that's not gonna cover you if you got really, if you got something really going on. That's not gonna take care of anything. And like, that bothered me. I got a relative that they are such a penny pincher. They got liability even though they don't need to have liability, just because they don't like the idea of paying money every month for something that they may not need anyway. That's their logic. And it's like, yeah, but when you need it, you're not going to feel good
Hmm.
not having it, you
Yeah.
know? But I do understand. I think the thing with AAA is you pay one flat rate for the whole year, and that's it. There's no like every month, every month, every month. It's like one flat rate. I think it's less than $300 to be honest with you. That's what I recall. Mine gets renewed every year. They, you know, and and it's just one flat thing, and they have all types of other benefits attached to being a member. So, and I said all that to say this: in weather such as we're experiencing, it's a bit. I'm sorry, it's terrible to be stranded.
Hmm.
Terrible,
Yeah.
like absolutely terrible. I think about the winter. The winter where my mother had a flat tire and she called my brother and myself, and she was working then, she was working there, she was in the parking lot. uh Thank goodness she wasn't outdoors, but that didn't matter because it was just that cold. It
Hmm.
was cold. It was like scary cold outside. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was that kind of scary cold. And because, you know, we had the good sense to, take off a couple of days, you know, but she, you know, she's the type of woman back then that if somebody's gonna pay her to show up, she going, you know. So she got this flat tire. She, come fix my tire, you know. And I know she got insurance. I know she got full coverage. I know she got roadside assistance. But because we're her children, we not gonna call her out like that. You know, if mama say she needs you, we coming, right?
All right.
We walk out that door. It's like, oh my God, it's scary cold. Like, I know they said it was the wind chill was 15 below, but it felt colder than that. It felt like it was like 45 below with the wind chill. You know, it was scary cold. That's the best way I can describe it. And I've been cold before, okay? But this particular night, it was scary cold because she didn't have anything other than that manual, you know, that she only had she only had what came with the car, you know, where you gotta crank it, and I was like, is this a test? You know? And I was like, Mama, what's the number to your, you know, what's the number so we can get somebody out here to come do this? She was like, I don't know what the number is. That's what she kept telling us. She kept telling us she didn't know what the number was. Child, that shit was my brother, he took it like a champ. God bless him. He took it like a champ. He was just like, you know, he didn't complain. He just did it. But I could tell, because I know my brother, he was thinking the whole time, this don't make no goddamn sense. You know, it was scary cold that night. It was crazy. And so she, you know, of course the tire got changed, and we were like, are you okay now? You know? She's like, yeah, thank you. Y'all my kids, thank you. You know, I was like, you know, as we was going home, I said, I think she was testing us, man. I think she was testing us. He was like, you probably right. Man, it was scary cold that night. But I said all that to say that, you know, it's better to have coverage in case of an emergency than not to have it when an emergency happens. That's my point. That's my point. I think back to that. I said, what if we didn't answer the phone? What if we just like, I don't feel like answering that phone? You know, because back when this happened, there was, you know, no real cell phones like that, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this was a while ago. This was a while ago when they didn't have cell phones like that. So there was none of that. I don't even think there was call ID, you know.
Whoa, was that there?
That was a lot. It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. She was this was, I think, when I was in between marriages, and I came back to live there for a year before I got my own place. And during that year, there was always some type of mishap, you know. And I had to ask I said, you know, I was like, is it always like this? Like every time you turn around, she got a problem. Is it always like, you know, does she always have a preventable problem? Like, because I had been overseas. I wasn't aware of these things. And it seemed like every week it was something. And you know, so what I have learned in hindsight is that my mother is the type of person that will discourage you from not being independent. Like, you know, don't think you just gonna lay up in her house. Okay, like, yeah, I just got divorced and, you know, I'm trying to get myself together. So since my room is still there, I'm just gonna stay here. No, she made that very uncomfortable. She made living with her very, very I was like, I gotta get the blank out of here.
That's what she's supposed to do.
That's right.
Comfortable so they be independent and get out your house.
That's right. She's the kind of mother hen that will push you out the nest. It's like it's like, no, you gonna get your own stuff. You're not gonna sit up here and be the codependent. You got to be strong in this world, and that was her motto. You got to be strong in this world, and you can't do it just depending on other people, and that's who she is. So she always put us through challenges and tests. It was crazy. If I didn't know any better, I think that was where the strength it took for me to get through the military came from, because all that type of rigmarole that she pulled, you know, I, I call it, I had pre-endurance training. Straight up, straight up.
Yeah.
You put the link in the chat if in case anybody else got any
Oh yeah, I did.
wintertime horror stories.
Oh yeah, I said I'm glad I don't live in an area where it snows a lot. I have to do that every winter. I think I would turn into, I dare to say it, pick me. Uh, I have I cook them some food, run around bath. I don't know about having sex for it, but I do everything else.
Yeah, that does make you rethink your resistance when you got a man that's willing to take care of the things that you would rather not do. That does make you rethink, your resistance a little. It's like, well, okay, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
But
be.
then again, it's not any man, because I could what I
I
be
didn't
willing
say a
to
no
do
good
the one
man now.
that I like, the one that I don't like, it'd be totally different thing. You
Oh
know.
no, you don't put up with somebody you don't like. You don't. Please, that's emotionally harmful. Don't do that. It has to be somebody you like.
Yeah, yeah.
Because let's say, for instance, they did everything under the sun that's selfless to cater to you, and they fall sick.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be really, really spiritually awful to just think to yourself, well, since they're not useful anymore, they can be discarded. And that's why it's important to be with somebody that you like, because you have the compassion that it takes to care for them when they can't care for themselves the way they went out of their way to care for you. When somebody goes out of their way to be nice to you and good to you and kind and thoughtful, in the way that they know how to do it, and you share the same sentiment in return, and then one of you, God forbid, falls ill, you have to like each other in order to nurse one another back to health. Like people that don't nurse somebody back to health, that means they really don't like them. You know,
Yeah.
because you got these excuses of like, I can't deal with that. I just can't deal with that. It's like, it's funny how we pick out what we will and won't deal with according to, you know, what our true intention is. You know, there are things that, like for instance, a man who owes a whole lot in child support, he can find the money it takes to buy a lot of. I heard KF504 say this the other day. Shout out to him. He was right when he brought up this example. How there are men who have a responsibility as a father would rather prioritize keeping their car dressed up to the nines, as opposed to adhering to the financial aspects and time participation it takes to be a real father to their children. Like they spend more time with their car than their children. When he brought that up, I was like, yeah, there are men that do that. There are men out there that spend more time with their car. They invest more in their car than they do their own children. And so that's why I was saying, it's like, it's real funny how some people can come up with the inspiration to do things that they really want to do, But then when it comes to doing things that's right, all of a sudden, there's this jibber jabber. Like, well, I'm not really the sensitive type to be visiting people in the hospital and making sure they got special meal plans, and I'm not really that type of person. And that could be a man or a woman,
Mhm.
because you got a woman that might, have enjoyed all the fruits of his labor, you know, fine dining and you know, expense account galore.
Mhm.
Soon as he's unable to work and you gotta, count every penny, all of a sudden she's got eyes for another guy. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. So uh it's just really Dane Frankie, quite frankly, I think that when people say they should have chose better, I'm starting to see the logic in that. Like it you really have to be mindful of who you you hooking yourself with. Like, why are you becoming infatuated with somebody just because they're physically appealing and you don't know anything about their character?
Yeah.
So I'm starting to think when they say they should have chose better, I'm starting to think that holds some weight, you know?
Yeah, but it also holds depends on who's it coming from. If you got a guy, he's complaining about every woman he ever dated, and that this woman did that, and that woman was crazy, and this woman didn't do this and that, or she dressed like this or like that, and I'm like, don't you think you should have chose better? But it's usually the guys that has all that. That's the one that's saying you should have chose better, but they don't take that into account for themselves.
Mm.
Hey, you should have chose a better woman, or you should have chose, or if she gave you the warning signs, the red flag that she was like this and like that, but you still hooked up with her. You should have taken the time to get to know her. You would have known that she's crazy, and if you had sex with her, she think you belong to her. Yeah,
Mm.
not every woman lays out her crazy on the floor. I tell that I'm not the one to be hooking up with. It'd be better for you if you see someone else you want to break it off with me. I can't hold it against you. Broke it off with me before you move on to the other one. But don't think you could have me and that other woman. I'm gonna hurt you.
Hmm.
I'm going to
Right.
hurt you.
In the interest of safety, I suggest you move on.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not the one. I don't share my man. I'm told. I'm from, and I was always like that. Even when I was in high school, I'm not the one to mess with. Or guys that's crazy enough said, you want to go half on a baby, or said they want me to have their baby. They have a feeling I wouldn't be like the other baby. I said, whoa. Well, first of all, one, I ain't raising no baby by myself. If I have a baby, you better be prepared to take that baby 24/7. Cause I'm gonna turn that baby over to you. You ain't gonna get out of changing the diaper, feeding the baby, none of that. They
Hmm.
said, "Oh no, you feel like that now." I said, "That's what my mom said." No, you and my mom will fight over the baby before me and you will fight over the baby. No, everywhere you go, that baby's gonna go.
Hmm.
You better be prepared for the baby sling, the baby carry. The things where you gonna go out and play basketball with your friend. The baby gonna be right there with you.
You have to respect the responsibility of being a parent, and and when a person doesn't want to do that, they like the idea that they got you pregnant, or she likes the idea that she had your baby, but she doesn't want to really stick around to do motherly things, or he doesn't want to stick around to do fatherly things. That is so that's really
Hmm.
treacherous to me.
And
Uh,
okay, and that's okay, Remy. And I said, oh, and don't be making no promises to my kids, and you're not there, because I know to a certain degree I'm tiger, bear, dragon mom.
mhm.
I ain't gonna have no understanding. No, no. You say you're gonna be there unless you in the hospital or had died. You better be there.
I know that's right. Because the children remember that for the rest of their lives. They grow, there are adults that are still talking about how their parent let them down.
Uh-huh.
And when I say let them down, I mean they lied to them. That's what I mean. Like a child, you know, we should give children more credit. If you explain to them that you can't do something and this is why, you know, children aren't stupid. They have a sense of understanding. But if you just on a humbug wishing that you can make it happen and then turns around you don't follow through, they're never gonna forget that.
No.
They're not, because I've heard too many adults as I've gone through life say, "Yeah, I remember the time when my mama was supposed to take me trick or treating. She didn't do it." You know, shit like that. I was like, "What?" You know, that was really striking to me. I was like, "Wait a minute, like you tripping because your mama said that?" I said, "Well, what was she doing?" "Well, I don't know what she was doing, but she didn't do what she said she was going to do." And that's what they focus on. They
Yeah.
focus on your word. It doesn't matter that you may have been, you know, accosted, you know, you know, you could even explain it from what, because I really grilled this person. I was like, wait a minute. Did your mother explain to you why she couldn't do it? It don't matter. She said she was gonna do it. That's how they think. I was like, oh my God. So
Um,
for children, once they get that stamp of disappointment, it's very hard for them to reason themselves out of it until they become, I don't know, more enlightened, I guess. But you know, but that was kind of like this. I don't know if I should. Well, I'll say it. I've said it before online. There was this one coworker whose mother killed herself.
ooh,
God rest her soul. Yeah, her and her husband were in a conflict. From what I recall, I think they were cheating on each other, right? And they were cheating on each other, and the argument was so heated apparently that, you know, she shot herself, you know.
ooh.
He didn't kill her. From She never said that he killed her. She said that, you know, she killed herself. So I just, you know, I'm just listening to her, right? And you know, because we work together, we're having lunch together, and she's telling me this story because she's gotten to know me so well. I was like, you know, and I would have never, and she had to go to foster care, and you know, so I knew a little bit about her, and she had become a remarkable woman, and she's doing well, married with children and everything. So we're having lunch, and she just springs this on me, and I was like, and I don't even know how we got to that topic, to be honest with you, but she springs it on me. And I'm just like, well, that's awful. I don't even know what to say. Like I don't even know what to say after that. She was like, girl. And she did, you know, when she said girl, you know, there was something about me that wanted to, you know, just give her an emotional hug, but I didn't know what to say. And so I was like, if your mother was here now, right across from us, what would you say to her? And I'm thinking, Dame, I'm thinking she's gonna say, "Oh, mommy, I miss you," or something like that. You know, she was hostile. She was like, "How dare?" She would tell her mother, "How dare you? We was just kids. It was selfish of you to. Do you know what happened to us because you were too selfish to stick around?" I mean, she was upset about her mother killing herself, and that was the last thing I expected. You know, and I was like, "Well, damn," you know. So it, you know, when it comes to children being disappointed, it goes deeper than them having compassion for your circumstances. They expect, because you've invited them into the world, that you stick around and be authentic and truthful about it, you
Yeah.
know? It's like you invited me to this thing called Earth, so do right by me.
Yeah.
And if you don't, they're never gonna forget it at all. And that's just the way it is. I know people like, oh, children, kids will be kids. It's like, I don't know about that now. There are emotional hiccups and disturbances that hinder a person's greater self. And you don't want to be responsible for their emotional hindrance as to what can make them advance, you know, toward being their best selves. So I'm just saying that people should take being a parent seriously, and as opposed to thinking that, oh, they'll get over it. They just kids. No, not necessarily.
No, no, they don't get over it. It takes them a lot to work to let some stuff go. Uh-huh. Uh,
I also remember that my family came from a generation where they didn't really do a lot of I love yous, you know, hugs, they hug, but the whole I love you thing was kind of corny to them because in their mind it's like what is understood doesn't need to be said. Of course, we love each other because we're gathered together and we're sharing food and a decent home and safety. Of course you're loved. So see, for them, love is about demonstration, not the words. That's the kind of family I grew up in. And then when I went off to the military, and I'm starting to experience people that are expressing, oh, I just love that about you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you, you know what I'm saying? They just really, they're more, they, how can I put this? They express their emotions. When they feel something, they say it. My family wasn't like that. My family wasn't mean. Don't get me wrong. They weren't mean. They were practical. It's like they weren't corny. They weren't goofy. They were very serious-minded people. And so I grew up to be a very serious-minded young lady. And I found out that there are people in this world that explain to me. It's Max calling you.
no. That's one of my peoples.
Okay.
It's not what I think it is, considering who it is.
I hope all is well. Shout out to Max. Usually,
Yeah. He's either
sometimes.
floating around in the clouds or he's watching the game.
Yeah, I heard the Bears played today. I don't know if they won or not.
Shoots, I missed the Saints game. I've been busy, cooking, cleaning. Well, I've been doing my prep cooking, Yeah. So
Yeah, that's that big family responsibility cooking. We are gifted with a lot of invitations to not only family gatherings but restaurants, like real nice restaurants. And so it's you got a lot of options. Maybe you should take that call. I could talk about something if you want to.
no, I sent them the please text me thing so I can see what it is they're talking about. If it's
All
urgent,
right.
text it. Otherwise, they just want to talk to me,
Oh, okay.
ask me something.
All
'Cause
right.
the last time they wanted me to go all the way to Texas. I was like, oh, girl, you better tell them to catch a bus and stuff like that. Well, one, my car ain't gonna go there, and two, there's a cold weather coming in. You better tell them to get the bus, get as close as they can to town. I could get them to the next town over. I
Mm-hmm.
even push it as far as go to Lafayette. But dang it, no. I had no guilt for that. about that. It's like, you don't have no
Mm,
people from Texas for them to ride back with. I mean, the day before or the day of the freeze coming down through. It started
mm.
coming through on Thursday evening.
Mm-hmm.
No, Thursday afternoon. So
Mm,
I'm going with send a message. Okay, so anyway, um, yeah. It's like, no. Um,
mm.
um,
Well, I had some caffeine, so if you, any event that you have to take a call,
oh
I,
yeah,
I got that covered because I'm caffeinated
okay.
straight up.
If they call me up one more time and then send a text, I'll take you up on it.
All right, then.
But
I
but
am seriously caffeinated.
I
Like
already I already gave them the heads up that I ain't moving. I
hmm
ain't, Thursday was the last time I was moving. And Friday I didn't go except for to get what I left in the car. I did not go outside. I was serious about it.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Shoot, I need some milk right now. And I was like, I can do without it. I can improvise.
That
Mm,
cold weather is something else.
yeah. Hmm. I was like,
It makes you rethink. So it's like I don't really need that milk right now.
nah. They're like,
It
uh,
can wait.
it can wait. We can improvise. You know. Oh yeah.
What's a day or two?
Mhm. Just if I could have avoided getting what I left in the car, I wouldn't have went to get it. I'd be like, it's cold outside. It's not like it's gonna go bad. Eh.
Oh man.
I'm
Well,
moving sick.
I grew up in the north, so I really don't mind
Mhm.
running errands.
That's probably why I'm never going up north, or
Yeah.
be one of the snowbirds. How I have a place here in Louisiana, and
hmm
then go up there to work, and then like I'm going on vacation the whole winter. Y'all can fire me out on the whole winter. I will be in Louisiana.
hmm Yeah, it's warmer down there.
Yeah.
I had to work in the winter when I was overseas at night with the snow blowing sideways, and I was just like, "What the hell did I sign up for?" It was um I can honestly say though, it prepared me to put challenges in perspective because there was this one incident where I impressed somebody that had the power to approve or disapprove something a benefit that I was applying for. And the only thing that impressed them is that when I walked in, I was soaked from the rain, like soaked,
Uh
you
uh.
know, because, I had to park very far away
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have an umbrella. I just didn't. And so I had to make that long ass walk to that building. You know how when you downtown, you got to park, like 2 or 3 blocks away to get to the
Oh my
office building.
goodness.
Yeah. So it's raining like cats and dogs, and
I
and
just
I
called and said I'm 3 blocks away in my car. I'm waiting for the rain to stop.
that's what he respected about. He said, "Well, most people would have just said, "Hey, it's storming outside. I'm sitting in the car. I'm gonna wait till it blows over." He said it was more important for you to get here on time for the appointment. That means you respect my time. So you are approved no matter what. And he was like, "You can go wring yourself out over there," in the back. Because I was soaked. It was crazy. I was like, I messed up my nice things. I was so drenched. But it was just like I looked at the rain and how it was storming, and I thought to myself, I've been in more dangerous situations than this. this is not dangerous. This is just annoying. So I just kept it in perspective, and I just made sure I arrived on time, and I was drenched. I looked like I was drenched, and I was concerned about whether or not I would be chastised for, you could have made a better decision and rescheduled. But because I didn't reschedule, for whatever reason, he was like, "You're a real trooper." And I just like, I was just like, I was like, "Oh, here we go." And he was like, "No, you could have rescheduled. You could have just called and say, I'm going to sit and wait it out. But you a real trooper. You know what? What you want? You got it." I was like, "Okay, thank you." I didn't even have to apply. It was just like, it was like, you had every reason to quote unquote punk out, but you didn't. So I think that you are a woman of integrity. You said you were going to be here at a particular time, and you made sure you kept your word. I like that in a woman. Now, I know that sounds very misogynistic of him, and I didn't check him on that shit, because he said, I like that you gave your word, you kept your word. I like that in a woman. He didn't have to say that in a woman part. Any other time I would have checked somebody, but like, that sounds kind of misogynistic. What are you saying? Women don't keep their word, but that wasn't the time for me to be, debating him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was in a position to approve something that I needed to take care of. And it worked out by some rain. It worked out,
The only time I sloshed around in rain, but it was to work, I actually brought a change of clothes. And our parking lot, it feels like it's a block away, but technically it's not. But it is far away from the employee's door. And so
what's really sickening is that I had a poncho in the trunk. I didn't have an umbrella, but I remembered that I had a poncho. A poncho with, it's a covering that's made out of plastic. I had a poncho in it because I got an emergency kit, or rather stash.
But it was in the trunk.
It was in the trunk. But that's what I'm saying is I had so much anxiety about getting there on time. If something wasn't next to me, I didn't think about it. I should have, if I had it to do all over again, I would have had the poncho, but I didn't. But because most likely, and I learned this later, he's a misogynistic person. He's very misogynistic. So he probably got off on the fact that, anyway, a lot of guys who are misogynistic are in a position of gatekeeper. Yeah, they're in the position of gatekeeper, and sometimes they like to see women demonstrate that they're willing to go through something. And I guess when I showed up drenched, I guess it was a thing. Because when he said, "I like that in a woman," he had to emphasize that woman part. I was like, but like I said, that wasn't the time for me to debate him or nothing, But there are different nuances like that where you could tell when a man is a woman hater, There are distinct nuances in a man's conversation where they just believe that women are
Vermin.
not. Say what?
Vermin.
They think they are not to be
taken seriously.
Yeah, let's call it that. Yeah, let's call it that. Yeah, because I don't want my words to get me in trouble with the male listening audience. But you can hear it, right? You can hear it, and it's very accusatory. The assumption of it all. The assumption of it all is what's very tripped out.
Yeah,
They're
they
men.
get too
Men
gleeful.
assume. Yeah, men assume things. No, I'm not even talking about sadistic. I'm not talking about men who are sadistic. I'm talking about men who are very comfortable with making assumptions about women.
Mm.
There's this really big frame of 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 conditioning in America and around the world, honestly, where men are conditioned to have assumptions about women without even knowing what it's like to be a woman. They have no idea what it's like to be a woman, but they make these assumptions and they stand on that square.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I hate to bring this, but a certain alphabet people who believe that they're a woman, and then they have the nerve to tell you that what you're saying it means to be a woman does not mean to be a woman.
Yeah,
I'm
those
like, what
assumptions,
the hell?
those assumptions become assertions, and those assertions become oppressive, and that oppression becomes abuse, and the cycle escalates. It's crazy because it starts with the assumption. It's like and pride, really, and dare I say, emotional greed. There's an emotional greed aspect to thinking that you know what it's like to be something you're not.
Mhm.
I won't say it's psychotic, but I'm kind of going there.
Mm.
And it's like, what I look like asserting the assumption I know what it's like to be you when I'm not you. That's
Oh,
kind of psychotic to me.
and then when you use certain biological factors to say that you're not, I said, okay, they try to say why is you is certain uh your body parts into it and stuff like that, and there's more to a woman. And I'm like, well, you started with the assertion when you tried to make you some body parts of that line.
Right.
I was like, so you because my body parts do what it's biologically designed to do, and yours can't because hey, it wasn't biologically designed to do that. That was man made or man uh, designed.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, I was watching one. I plan to do that. Oh shoot! I got kind of busy. I planned to do it for a ladies' night, but our conversation with Lady Dame, that discussion. But I think it's gonna have to be a conversation with Lady Dame. Shoots.
Okay.
Cause
Now this is Christmas Eve.
mhm.
Uh, um, what would you say is how have you evolved with your understanding about the birth of Jesus? Like, how would you say your thoughts have evolved from when you was a child to now as an adult woman?
Okay, as a child, it's like it's like when you're taking in facts, you have no experience to go with.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's in the subconscious or in the background. Okay, it has to do with the birth of Jesus and that his mother was a virgin, but you didn't take it all in. They were just like words, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah, you was all about the aspect that opening presents, family, food, Santa Claus, not the Santa Claus. Um, I don't know how my mom and my family managed to do it. Had us know that our Christmas presents came from them, but at the same time had us believing in Santa Claus.
I know, right?
And I don't know how many times my grandfather has shot Santa Claus, or,
Wow.
or we heard a gunshot.
They they were slick with it. They were slick with it. They, as young children, they had us believing that there was that the presents came from them, and yet at the same time insisting that there is a Santa Claus. That they was slick. They was real slick
Well,
for that.
this is the way I understood. Okay, there were presents that came from them, and then there was this one mysterious present where somehow you got the present that nobody knew you wanted, and it came from Santa Claus. I'm like, how did they know? It couldn't have came from them. It'd be some mystery from Santa Claus.
Oh God. And then they got the nerve to write on the package when you 5 years old from Santa. Like
Actually, I could
I
read
think
that.
yeah, I was like maybe 5, and
But
they was
it don't be any present that you written on the Dear Santa letter. It don't be something you whisper to a friend. That means they had to either really know you or it actually came from Santa. Or maybe or something you pray quietly to God. Actually, I kind of remember praying to God for Christmas presents. Even though I wrote Santa, I remember praying, God, please let me have that, whatever it was at that time. You know.
I
Um,
ne-
but
I never
I
did
don't
that.
remember speaking it out loud though.
I
And
never
somehow she makes
prayed for a specific present. Now I know other family members did that, but I, for whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe it's just my personality that I was born with. You know, what God has for me is for me. That has been my attitude all my life. So I don't recall ever just praying for a specific present. You know, like
well, I do know if I didn't get it, I didn't get mad at God about it. You know, it's like, oh God, didn't get that. God didn't give me that present. I don't remember being mad about it. I was asked and you receive. If I asked and I didn't receive it, then it wasn't meant for me to have. And I moved
hmm
on.
hmm that's
But
right.
that didn't stop me from until I got that present. Until for Christmas Day, I was like, no, please, please.
I
I didn't
think.
do it. I think I
Well,
deserve it.
I'm not gonna lie. I do have this concept of a dream gift. Like but as far as Christmas, like something specifically for Christmas, like if somebody asked me what I wanted for Christmas, I would say world peace. Um, I don't know where I got that corny ass shit from because there's no such thing as world peace. But that was always my response. And and then in turn the adults would be like, oh, she's so sweet. So I think that just became my signature thing to do because when I was a little girl, all the adults would be like, oh, that's so sweet, you know. And so
Mhm.
I was never disappointed about any Christmas gift because I was for real. I wanted world peace. I was for real. But that's not to say that I don't wish for things. I do. There are things that I truly desire for myself. It's just that when it comes to that magical question, what do you want for Christmas? It's been the same all my life. World peace. And I've been saying that since I was a child,
Mhm.
you know.
Let me see. What was I ever asked? What do I want for Christmas? Uh, I think so. I think I've been asked a few times. Most of the time, I didn't know, or it was temporary, or the ones that urgently ran into my mind is like when I was really little, a dog,
Mhm.
or another time a bike. Um,
Mhm.
like it's like depends on if I was going through certain uh, uh, um, I'm trying to think uh, the correct word for it. I don't want to say crossroads. Um, yeah. Anyway, um, certain things. Oh, I can't think of the term, but it'll
Mhm.
come to me later. But those are
Yeah.
the ones very seldom. And then by the time I became like about 10 or 12, I stopped asking, I stopped thinking about it, whatever I get, I get. Um, I, more more interested in being the private eye or the snoop person trying to find out what everybody else's present is because of an uncle or so. Like, I became aware that because my mom had a bunch of godchildren, their parents would hide presents for them at our house and vice versa. So I learned if I found any presents around the house, that ain't my present. It's
Okay.
either my mom's present for a godchild, or she's holding the present for the parents of the godchild. You know, so I learned to stop getting excited about presents for Christmas. But every now and then I would get surprised. Like,
Mm. Oh yeah.
yeah, like I didn't even know I wanted this thing until I got it. Uh,
Yeah, those are nice.
the Atari games, the Atari, the big
I remember.
video games in the stores and the pizza places and stuff like that. Well, there was a miniature version of one, and I got mine.
Another tabletop one.
No, well, yeah, it was the Frogger game, and
Oh
I
my
didn't know I
god.
wanted that thing. I didn't really have anything I wanted for Christmas. In mind that I wanted for Christmas. People ask, "What you want for Christmas?" I don't know, whatever, anything. A doll? No, not really. In fact, I gave a bunch of dolls away that year. No, I just didn't really have any. I think the closest thing I said, money. But even then, I didn't really say that, because you were taught not to ask for money for Christmas. You had to have a specific gift in mind. I'm like, I don't know. It depends on which relative was asking me. I had one relative who always gave me a necklace or a watch, and I'd tell her, a necklace or a watch, because I knew I was always going to get that from her. Uh huh.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. It depends on the relative. I can
Yeah.
see that. It's
Yeah.
like if you're known for doing this, then I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and just, say that. I can see that happening. I can
Yeah.
see it. But yeah, when you were talking about the when the electronics started coming out for young people, yeah, those tabletop video games. When we started getting that stuff for Christmas, yeah, that was the jam right
I was
there.
surprised. I didn't even think it. I did run into it. I saw it. I didn't think it was for me, so I didn't pay it any mind. I remember my mom getting mad, but my mom always get mad when I didn't find presents. So imagine my surprise. I open it. I'm thinking it's gonna be some clothes, whatever, and it's like, this is for me.
I'm like, electronic.
I was like, oh, we pulling out batteries.
An electronic toy, child.
Yeah.
You gotta plug it in, and these batteries, it lights up, it makes noises, everything
Oh
is
yeah.
it's a replica of the arcade system. You
Yeah.
man, listen,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was yeah, that's a good Christmas for a child when they start. Well, I know back in my generation, your generation, like when we started getting those electronics,
Oh yeah. Like,
that was jaw dropping. That was like what?
when they start getting the game system, the Ataris, the Nintendos.
Mm-hmm.
My uncles and them got that, And I didn't get a game system until I was almost an adult. and then I brought it for myself. I saw one. What it is they made a mistake. Every now and then they have a
They
little
made a mistake.
price to be low. I hurry up and put it on that way, and I paid it off a little at a time. But yeah. But I play my uncles and them over there. I go over there, hook it up. We're playing a video game. Yeah.
You ever get a gold coin?
What?
That
Which video game you talking about?
no, an actual gold coin.
Oh,
Like you got yeah, a real gold coin, and
well, okay. I heard I had one, but this was like a special bank that my mom got when I was a baby. heavy glass a bank. You can't there's only one way, and that's in order to get money out of it, you have to break it, and it ain't as easy to break. It got stolen, so I never got a chance to test that out. My mom found evidence of it, that a family member who would never have thought to do it staged a robbery
No.
and robbed it. We found evidence. That's how we know it's not as easy as you think to break into it, because they were still fighting to break into it when my mom had discovered it, that they did it. And my mom was so hurt and mad, she let them have it. Now, if you was to take the dog meat into the kid I was back then, I would have went over there and snatched it and shamed them for it. They ain't keeping it, but that's how mad and hurt my mom was. Oh, you wanted that badly that you did all this, you could keep it. Supposedly, there was a gold coin one of my great uncles stuck in there for me
Probably so. Yep.
when I was born.
That's how they do it.
And I don't know, because my mom had nothing to do with it. She didn't talk to this person. It took a long time to forgive, And I was like,
Right.
and even though I knew about it because I overheard her talking to her best friend, my godmother, and I knew, and I was not happy about that. But it was just money. Money didn't mean anything to me as a kid because
That's right.
I had it. I had it, and I've been money been drawn to me. Either my stepfather had taught me how to play poker. I used to be able to play poker. I can't play it now. And I used to be real good at it. All the kids in the neighborhood owed me money. I had IOUs all over the place. Kids, if they got an allowance, they owe me all their little allowance. I pretty much had a book, and my uncle robbed my pig. I had one of them them aluminum safe with the combination lock on there. And he broke into my bank because I wouldn't lend him any money so he could gamble, because I told him he was a bad poker player and you just lose it. And he got mad at me. And when my back was turned, he broke into my bank. It was just a little aluminum combination. But my mom got fed up with it, got fussed at all of us, made the announcement that whoever owed me money no longer owed me money. And you could just pretty much throw them IOUs in the trash and burn them. And she took the IOUs that I already had that was in writing and burned them in front of everybody. So, and made me promise never to gamble again, or at least not until I'm an adult, something like that. But by that time, but I was really good at it. I was really good at it. I don't know why, as a kid. But then again, I also had this weird, unusual thing. Okay, some people call it dice. We call it craps. My stepfather used me as his dicer. The guys he shot craps with didn't trust him. I don't know if there's a certain way you could throw the dice to ensure you get certain things. So they wasn't trusting him, and he wasn't trusting him, and he was supposed to be babysitting me. So I said, well, who would trust to throw the dice? And I'm like, can I play? I'm being a kid.
Let the baby do it. Let the baby roll the dice.
So my stepfather would tell me what to roll, and I would and I would roll it. But he had to learn the hard way. When I said I'm tired, I don't want to play no more, he better stop. Because if he didn't and he made me roll anyhow, we came up snake eyes.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. It's like, look, don't ask me to keep rolling these dice when I'm tired. It's not gonna work out well for your luck.
Yeah. But sometimes it worked out. He played it smart to get them to let it go and stuff like that. You know, he'll have me roll one more time, but he don't bet as much. If they paid attention, doesn't bet as much, and they all feel that they won some of their money back. And then he said,
I
"Okay, the baby's tired. She gotta go to bed." And as thuggish as these guys are, I guess back in them days they had, you don't push the babies. You know, not to mention if my mom came home and saw me rolling the dice, all hell was gonna break loose. And my mom was
oh
not
my
afraid to bust a
god.
cat.
Oh my god.
So it was like, no, the baby,
That
she
is
didn't.
hilarious.
But they didn't put up the fight. The game was over with. When it was time for, when I said I was tired,
That
that
should
was,
be a scene in a movie. That is hilarious.
oh, shooks.
I could picture it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
And you gotta understand, I was maybe about two. I was
Oh
about
my
maybe
god.
2 or 3. I was about 2 or 3. So imagine a little 2 or 3 year old with her little Afro puffs, you
Mm,
know,
mm, mm.
her little twin Afro puffs. And the men are like, look, I don't trust you with no diet. Well, I don't trust you, Negro, with the diet. And here comes the baby waking up from a nap.
Let the baby roll the dice.
Can I play? Can I play? Can I throw the dice?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
look at each other.
That's it. That's a good idea. Mm, mm, mm. That would make a good scene in some movie
Well,
sometime in the future.
well, we know we see it pop up in some
Then we'll
movies.
know we can't write somebody sneak listening.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
screenwriter out here, right?
yeah. Like, okay, opening scene in the house. Men arguing.
Oh
Baby
man.
wakes up, rubbing her eyes, coming in the room, big old grin in her face, and she's peeping around the men. And then she see the dice. Can I play? Can I throw the dice? In her cute little baby voice.
It'll wind up being a TikTok video. Watch. That way you'll know somebody was listening that didn't
Oh,
want to participate
oh
on the
my
panel.
goodness.
It'll be a TikTok video.
Yeah,
You
because
like,
my mom, how I know my mom would bust a cap. My mom walked in one time because I had napped earlier. So I
mm-hmm.
was really energized. I ate and stuff like that. So I was good to go for a long while. And they lost track of time, because they got too into the game. And my mom walked in and she's like, what the hell? And she see the baby with the dice. And I dropped the dice. And I still won. I still got hit the number that my stepfather. What the? I'm like, oh, but no, you did not. Get my baby camera. And she goes into the room. And my stepfather go, run. I was like, what you mean run? She's going to get
Oh Lord.
a gun. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if she got a gun. I didn't see what happened. All I saw was men flying out the door.
I know that's right.
Mhm.
It's
But
safe
I've seen
to
my mom pull a gun and shoot somebody.
that's probably what had happened. They knew she was ready to get that piece.
And it'd be like, why she have a gun in the house? Because she's separated. Uh, them old 5 bullet barrel pistols.
Mm-hmm.
With the hammer cock at the top.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of them, but she took it apart. The wheel be one area and it be taken down completely. Bullets be um it'll be in her drawer, but it'll be separated. But my mom can put it together very, very fast. In fact, that's how they used
Mm-hmm.
to make money. Sometimes, like when they were running short, uh um my used to bet my stepfather and one of my mom's fiance used to bet how fast my mom could put the pistol together, or if her and another person had a pistol, they see who could put the pistol together the fastest.
I
With the
know that's
bullets,
right.
I had the bullets too. And my mom was very, very fast with it. That's
I know
how
that's right,
her
child.
fiance, when her fiance made a mistake and slapped her because he thought she was hysterical, and she wasn't gonna be slapped by no man, and she went in the house and he took off running. I didn't understand why he was running like he was, and she shot him. And at first we thought he didn't get hit. We found out later he did get hit.
What
That's what my
part?
mom said.
What part of the body do you remember?
She shot him in the butt, or
Mm-hmm.
or the upper thigh.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they were talking about, she shot him in the butt, but it didn't stop him from running. So my
Mm-hmm.
mom went to my grandfather and said, "I need some different type of bullets. I need some bullets with some stopping power." Because she explained how she shot and he was still able to keep running. If he was coming at her, it wouldn't have stopped him. And they said, "Well, you trying to kill him?" We said, "No, I want him to feel it so he would change his mind about coming. If he still come after I shoot him, then hey, he get what he get."
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't think she had shot him. Somebody said, "Yeah, he misstepped. Like there was like a pause in his step, in his run. You
That's
know,
awful.
you got
I
men that ran
I
track.
know. It's awful that he thought he could get away with what he did. Like, what makes a man thinks that he's gonna do something like that? And
Yeah, he thought she was
that's
hysterical.
crazy.
He thought she was
Mm.
hysterical. She was upset about what happened. They got robbed and the rent got stolen. And she was upset. And he thought she was hysterical and he slapped her. What the hell? And
Yeah.
she went, "You slapped me. You MF." And she went in the house. She left me outside. He took off running.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, she come back. And I know for a fact that pistol was in several pieces because I dig around in my looking for change. Oh shoot! So I was a kid. I was looking for change. Change in the drawer was on the floor. It was open season. So I seen that pistol in the drawer, all the separate pieces. That's
Did
my
she
mom.
ever get mad at you for taking her change?
Uh, the one that's on top of the dresser, because she usually if it's on top of her dresser, it's set aside for a specific reason.
Mm-hmm.
But she knows I'm gonna do it. Um, in fact, I've asked her several times, "Mom, can I have the change in your drawer?" Usually I go digging and then I ask if I can have the change in the drawer.
I've gotten into my mother's perfume, her nail polish, her lipstick when I was too young to know what to do with it. And I just made a mess of myself, especially with that nail polish because I mistook it for, makeup, you know. And
Oh
and
no, you didn't.
oh my God, it was terrible. Like, so we talking about a 3-year-old little girl and she sees all these pretty colors of nail polish and you know, I never see this is the thing. I never saw my mother sit down and put apply the makeup. So
Uh-huh.
I didn't understand the concept of what nail polish was, apparently. All I know is that I can recall getting in trouble for putting nail polish on my face. I don't know if I put it on my lips or on my eyes, but it had to be maybe my lips because the nail polish was red or something. But
Yeah.
that was very stupid. However, you have to consider a 3-year-old child not understanding what cause. I said all that to say this. Um, when it comes to children being curious in their parents' room,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Oh yeah.
it's like you really,
You gotta
like
know that that's a given, especially when they 2, 3, 4, and 5. I, I
right.
I I used to love to put on my mom's high heel boots,
what
so,
what I'm what I'm saying, well, yeah, we all do that. What I'm saying about, I'm trying to get back to the gun, right? It's really
uh-huh.
wise that the gun was disassembled,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because my mother having a weapon, she had it someplace I couldn't find, thank God, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because a lot of children, they will find an intact pistol,
Yeah.
and they will do something with it because they don't know any better. And so I'm thinking to myself, if my mother, and I know the gun she had, I just didn't know it at the time, being 3, but um if she had a gun within reach, and, an intact gun within reach, I don't know if I would have, I think I probably would have played with that gun, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because if I didn't have enough goddamn sense to know the difference between nail polish and lipstick, goddamn it, lip gloss. I think I thought it was lip gloss,
Uh-huh.
and I think I thought the nail polish. But what I'm saying is, as a 3-year-old, when you don't know the difference between lip gloss and lipstick and nail polish, there you just might pick up a gun and like I'm saying all that to say it is very, very wise of your mother to have had a disassembled gun, so that you didn't get a hold of it and
Mm-hmm.
play with it. Not, but you had more sense than me, most likely. I think about some of the stories
No,
where
well,
children
no, no, no,
find
no,
guns.
no, no,
Children
no.
find guns and they get hurt. They because they think they're toys, and they
Mm-hmm.
children think everything is something to play with, and I just want people to be careful. Even
Yeah,
if you instruct them, like, look, you don't play with this, you don't play with this, you don't touch this. Come on now, that's a child.
yeah.
That's
And
that under 5 years old. You trying to tell a child don't do this, and you think they know? Come on now. You
uh-uh.
you have to make sure that it's impossible for them to hurt themselves if they find it. So
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear you bring that up. That she was
yeah,
considerate and loving enough to make sure it was disassembled, and she knew how to put it together real fast if she had to.
yeah, yeah. So no, I remember being small enough where actually it's just that it was disassembled. I just took the big piece and brought it to my mom and asked her, "Can I play with it?" And like, no,
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Children, they think
I think
they
I was
think everything
actually.
is the, and it doesn't matter what kind of instruction. Oh, I won't say it doesn't matter, but you can think you can have the most brilliant child on the face of the planet.
Mhm.
Children by nature are discovering their world. They're discovering things. So they go on these expeditions of discovery, and because it's a child's mind, they think everything is to be played with, and experimented with, because they don't know any better. They're children. And I think about people that, that have all these guns and stuff. Uh, I hope they're out of the child's reach. I hope they're not, just displayed,
Yeah,
to pique a child's curiosity. Because to point to it and say, you don't touch that, that's not going to work.
no, no, it's not. Yeah, cause my mom kind of understood what kind of child she had. I was the type of child. Okay, hot stove, but I'm curious about it, and she keep telling me, no, no, baby, hot, it's gonna burn. She had to because I kept sneaking up on her, trying to get close to. She had to bring my hand as close as you can without actually putting your hand on the stove, so I could feel the heat and feel the burn, but not get burned. And it says hot, hot. You see, hot, 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 and I had to do that. And then I was still trying to get as close to see how long I could touch without burning. Burning and stuff like
Mm.
that. So no. And I wasn't trusting that.
I think the way I learned to, the danger of heat not the stove specifically. That took some time. Like we weren't allowed to be near the stove until we were like 9 years old, maybe 7. I think 7. We had to have a certain level of consciousness before we were, you know, allowed to touch this. Like we had rules, and the rule is that you can open the refrigerator and get what you want to eat, but you do not touch that stove. And that's just the way it was. And I don't know what age, I'm trying to remember what age it was that um all that occurred, but my family was really big on us not, you know, fucking with fire. They were real big about that. Um, I guess maybe they had experienced some house being burned down in the past or whatever, and it was somebody's innocent mistake. So they just had this policy with us as children, not just us, but really all the children, cousins, whoever. You had to be a certain age before you were bequeathed with the responsibility of being able to use the stove. It's like they just didn't play with fire. Now you had my aunt; she had an electric stove, so that was a different scenario. She showed, my aunt let me cook breakfast. She showed, she that's what we learned. We learned how to cook at my aunt's house because she had an electric stove. But when it came to those gas ranges, no, they didn't let us touch that. But I do remember discovering what hot was when that pizza came out, and I just touched it, before it cooled off, and it burned my hand, and not a blistering burn, but it was hot. Like it was like, what you touching for? That's hot. And that's when I learned what hot meant, because I touched something hot. So I do understand that sometimes children have to go through something to learn. But when it comes to being harmed, like you're not going to let a child cross the street in traffic just to learn what it means to get hit by a car. Like you're not going to let them put a knife in a socket just to get them to learn what it means to be electrocuted. Like, a child, it's really, I don't, a lot of people think that it's peculiar. That's the word I'll use. They think it's peculiar to safeguard your home, right? It was like, you got these plug-ins and these cabinet locks and all these, safeguard, or just tell the child what they're not supposed to do. And it's like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And as a matter of fact, I'm the type of parent that always kept my eye on my child. But when we were growing up, we were unattended, damn it, because we all had each other. We all had each other. So they gave us a gang of toys, a whole lot of toys, including electronics, like Mrs. Pac-Man. We were always occupied with arts and crafts and toys. So they really didn't, stand over us. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I wasn't going to sit up there and just take for granted that my child was going to automatically know what to and not to do, even though I told him what to do, not to do, because a lot of these children, they have their own mind, and you don't, they're like, I remember they used to leave us outside all fucking day. Excuse my language, but they left us outside all day. Like, when I think about that now, I was like, I could not ever imagine just telling a child, go outside and that's it. Like, it's like, it's a dangerous world out here as far as I'm concerned. And I just can't imagine not overseeing a child's well-being. Like, I remember playing outside with my friends
Mm-hmm.
until the street lights came on when was the time we supposed to come in, you
Right.
know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think about that today. I was like, that was kind of negligent when you think about it, you know, because any stranger could have snatched us up. You
But
know,
you gotta think about sometimes the age, not to mention the time period. But okay, I
Kid,
kind of
kids would
remember.
fall off the kids would fall off the bike, scrape their knee, they be
Oh
bleeding.
my
They
goodness.
still out there playing
Oh yeah.
because they was told not to come back until the street lights came on. That's when dinner is like, you know, come back in when the street lights come on. You can have some dinner after you wash up, and that was it. If you came back before then, you better have some type of emergency going on because they didn't want to be bothered with their children. And I never looked at it that way. You know, a lot of them in my generation that sent their children outside all day to play, and you better not come in until the street lights come on, and then you can have something to eat after you wash up scenario. You know, I look back, I was like, they really didn't want to be bothered with the kid.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, well, I
At
guess
grandma's house, it wasn't like that. At grandma's house, it's like y'all, because I remember her saying, y'all could come in and out whenever you want. And I never did understand the correlation. But at grandma's house, her narrative is y'all could come in and out whenever you want. You got to use the bathroom, you want something to eat or drink, y'all could come in and out whenever you want. But my mama's house, it's like, don't come back until the street lights come. And I know why, because she had to sleep. She worked the night shift. You know, she worked the night shift, and you know, her work started at 11 p.m. So she needed her rest during the daytime, and a whole bunch of, you know, us running around the house crazy wasn't, you know, gonna, you know, it I understand it now. I didn't understand it then. You know, I was like, how come we can't, you know, because we was the kind of rambunctious children that would always say, mama, 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 mama. And if she got to get her sleep so she can work from 11 to 7, that's not cool. You know, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Eventually, she
I
started
remember.
making enough money where all the aunts were babysitting us, so she ain't have to worry about that after a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of remember it. Mostly summer weekend. Well, first you had to go through. Well, let's clean up the house. Let me see. It's mostly on Saturdays. Clean up the house, eat breakfast, get dressed, clean up the house. Then you were kicked outside while they do the major cleaning and said, go play and stuff like that. You come back, the screen door could be locked unless you went over into the next neighborhood and stuff like that. Um, yeah. And I remember you better make it back before that street light come on. Cause
I
I
was
remember.
just, child, I got one of the worst whoopings of my life, thinking that sitting on the porch at the neighbor's house was equivalent to it. I don't even know if I don't even know if I want to tell that story again, dang, because it was, to me, it seems unreasonable when I was a child. As an adult, I can understand the nuances where she said, come in the house. She didn't say sit on the porch next door. She said, come in the house when the street lights come on. And she meant that shit because she whooped our ass. Excuse my language. She meant it because she whooped us down about not coming in the house when the street lights come on. That one time, that one good time she did that. And that was kind of like, I looked at her like she was crazy from that day forward, because it never made sense to me until I broke it down in my memory. I said, okay, what was the difference there? You know, and I was like, she said, come in. She didn't say, you know, sit on your friend's porch next door. She said, come in. So, you know, so to her, you know, she was just like that.
My mom,
That
my
was a
mom got
trip.
very specific. She pointed to a particular street light that was on the corner. You better be in this house before that street light right there cut off. I remember I was over at another neighborhood and the street lights, they were on like a minute delay. So
Oh
you start
Lord.
seeing them start going down the line, and I was running. I'm not a runner, but I was running.
Oh
And the
Lord.
street light before mine was going on. And I was like, I ain't gonna make it, I don't make it. And I dove and dived on a cement porch and rolled
What?
against the door. My mom was right in there with the belt. And my street light came on. I made it. She said, well, I
That
just
belt,
did in
child,
the
that
house,
belt.
but for
That designated belt.
but she said because I made the effort to make it there on time, she's gonna let it pass this time. But I made
Because you took her seriously. She saw that you took it seriously. Like in her mind, when I look back, and I'm not going to have a conversation with her about this. I'm confident that in her mind, her mentality was they're not taking my law seriously, and that's why she whooped us. And you know, it was like it was damn near merciless. It was like really, and then she had the nerve to check her nails while she was whooping. Like
her
you know,
nails.
she thought she you know, she in the middle like did not tell you to you know how they do that rhythm rapping talking while they whooping you, and in between that she checking her nail like to see if she broke a nail, and I'm like, okay, this some bull. So basically, you performing corporal punishment on some bull. You could have really just sat down and explained this to us as children so that we would never do it again. But you just gonna go right to the belt, right? And then, you know, obviously you didn't take the corporal punishment seriously, or else you wouldn't give a damn about your pretty nails.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
I'm like, what the hell?
In mid swing, she gonna check her nail. I'm like, this some bull. Okay. Now I didn't know how to express it as a child, but I mean, I do remember that occurrence. I was just like, wait a minute. Did she just check whether or not she broke a nail while she was trying to whoop me for not coming in when the street lights came on?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. I realized there's a couple of generations that don't know what a switch is. I remember threatening the kids at the schools like, I know where the switch bush is because I've been noticing they have disappeared around my community. They used to be everywhere. Now you can hardly find the bushes.
And the kids to chop them down.
My church used to have a line of them. My church used
The
to have a line
kids.
of them. And I was like, what happened to
Those
the
are
switch
smart.
bushes that used to be right
Then you
here?
got to give them credit for being smart. They was like, we'll fix this shit right here.
So
We'll fix this switch shit. We'll fix that.
I said, I found the last switch bush. Don't make me take a switch to school and switch y'all behind. And it's like, a switch? You mean like the light switch? I said, no, like a wooden stick to use to whip you behind. What? Y'all do that? Yeah, it's called switches. There's a bush that you go and get a switch from.
Okay, let's get off the brutality. Okay, now I got to ask you this. What was the best Christmas party at elementary school that you remember? Did you all have Christmas parties?
Yeah, we did. Okay. My best one was my 5th grade and 4th grade because they had real food. It wasn't just cakes, cookies, and pie.
It was pizza. Yes, pizza, baby.
Yeah, because my 4th and 5th grade teacher, they were men, but their wives brought. Let me see. My 4th grade teacher, his wife brought a lasagna. And let me see. What was my 5th grade teacher? Well, he wasn't married. It was his girlfriend, but she became his wife now. She's his wife now. But honestly, what was it? I'm trying to remember what it was.
Was it a casserole dish?
Some type of casserole, yeah, but it was good. He was killing it.
That's good. You know, but at the same time, for whatever the last time or I would say in grammar school, right? The last time I remember a teacher providing a homemade product or a homemade dish for us as students
Mhm.
was second grade. After that, everything was delivery or prepackaged because I think there was some type of safety protocol
Yeah.
that you know going around because they didn't um I don't mean to sound sinister. It's just that the safety protocol of having prepackaged or delivered traceable food,
Yeah.
it was the protocol because they didn't trust uh the possibility that somebody might be doing something to their homemade stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, even the schools don't do um cooking as much as they used to.
They
In
used
fact,
to have some really good cooked food in the
oh
cafeteria
man,
in elementary school. They used to have some really tasty cooked food. And now these children, from what I understand, they're getting not so much cooked food. They're not getting cooked food
they,
in
and
elementary school.
they're throwing a lot of them away. I seen kids go whole days without are they eating chips and that they buy at the concession or candy and stuff like that. They're like,
We used to get real
the food
food.
ain't good.
We used
In
to get
fact,
real food. We used to get string beans and pasta and beans. We used to get
Gumbo,
those grilled
HBAs.
we used to get grilled cheese sandwiches in the morning. Now the only thing that we had that was pre-packaged was those diabetes ass donuts. You know, we used to trade those. And we love that. Oh my God, we used to love those high sugar damn donuts. They still sell them. I went into a convenience store
Mhm.
and in the refrigerator section they had this little cardboard box full of these donuts that reminded me of elementary school. I said they still make that diabetes causing shit. Like I used to love it. And they used to distribute milk unlimited. Like you could get a sec. I think you were allowed to ask for a second milk. If they liked you, you could get more. But
Mhm.
and chocolate milk, oh my God. If they gave you a second chocolate milk, you was really rolling. You
Oh yeah.
know, but those elementary school cafeteria times were really, you know,
Oh
different
yeah. Mhm.
compared to
Yeah.
now. These children
Yes.
now, they're getting the short end of the. They're
Oh
not
yeah.
getting
We're
the.
seriously getting a shot in this.
Yeah, they're not getting the food they supposed to get.
Yeah, when I described to him, I said, "Man, hard to believe the junior high, high school, these schools." When I tell them that these schools had such good foods, there was no such thing as food fight. I only see food fights in movies. Nobody would throw away their food to hit somebody with. They don't
Cause it, cause
because
it was
they were
warm
eating.
and tasty and good.
Mm-hmm. That
It,
was
it
unheard
didn't. It didn't even need seasoning. It was just good.
of.
They.
The only
Just
complaints was um, they didn't have as much variety in junior high, elementary, and middle school as they did in high school. Uh, High school had more variety for different tastes. Like we had some people going vegetarian, some people on diets, and they were restricting some of the things they were eating and stuff like that. They had variety for every type of thing, you know. Then
by the
we got
time.
then during certain holidays because we got
Oh,
Catholic,
holidays.
Baptist, different religions and stuff like
Mm.
that. So we had food for all these different variety of religion. Like Catholics would eat fish on
Fish.
Wednesday, Fridays,
Yeah.
but
I
the
remember
others
those fish
didn't
days.
necessarily do it.
And I
So
remember those pizza days. That was the most generic pizza on the planet, but we loved it.
not ours. Ours was homemade from scratch.
No, ours was just like, what the hell is this? And why am I eating it?
they had some meat topping in it. I never even heard of, but it was good.
It was weird. I think it was like a cheeseburger pizza
Yeah,
type of thing
yeah.
they would have on Fridays, and then you had the fish uh fillet sandwich option or something. It was something like that. But they never had French fries.
I live in Louisiana. We had actual fish.
Mm-hmm.
We were having like fried catfish, crawfish.
Right.
etouffee.
Real fish.
Shrimp
Oh no,
etouffee.
we didn't have no etouffee. Nah, we didn't have that.
Uh-huh. Or some people call it shrimp and tomato gravy.
I know what it is, but we didn't have that in school.
Mm, oh, well, Louisiana.
You was down, yeah, you was in Louisiana, so they got to represent. You know what I'm saying? In Chicago,
Yeah, they be fight over foods. In fact, I got into trouble because I was coming off a really strict diet. The diet that was so strict was making me sick. My mom let me get off of it, and they made homemade cinnamon rolls, and they were some big suckers. And I waited to get the biggest one. I let people pass me. I want that one. Oh, you're gonna have to wait. Pass. Stop. And I was saving it for last. The food was already good, and I was coming out. I was eating it, and the boy was like, "You gonna eat that? Yeah, I'm gonna eat that. Look at me. Do I look like I'm not gonna eat that? I'm gonna eat that." And stuff like. I said, "Well, why are you not eating it?" I'm saving.
You bringing back memories. I do remember the times when you wanted, because they had to serve things in order. Like there was none of that. Let me get that piece right there over there to the left, two sections to down. There was no specifying. You had to wait until it was just the right time for them to scoop that particular cinnamon roll. You know, if you had your eye on that big ass cinnamon roll that was in the middle of the dish, and then you got all these other cinnamon rolls that come before it, you just like, go ahead. I'm waiting on this one. He brought back memories with that. Yeah. And see, now as adults, we could go wherever we want and we could specify. It's like, no, I want that one. Come down, go up, go to the left, go to the right. You annoy the hell out of those people, but you paying for it, damn it. So you gonna get what you pay. But in school, it's different. You got to tell you, it's like, nah, you could go, because you wait for that one piece that you looking at. Wow. Oh man, those were the days.
Yeah. And this boy stuck his finger up his nose and stuck it in the middle of my cinnamon roll. I jumped over a table.
You just fucked up my.
Oh my God! He was across from me to the right, and I was talking to a friend while I was eating food, so I wasn't looking at him. He said,
"Why in the heck?"
Cinnamon rolls, and I saw him do something, and I saw that finger. I know that finger was in his nose. Pull out the book and I went crazy on him. I jumped over the table and was choking the life out of him. Crazy white boy.
No doubt, but just what? Everybody was afraid of my father, and that's why I didn't have a lot of problems, because problems that I've heard other students had. It didn't happen because, from what I have found out, they were afraid of my father. And that's pretty much why, nothing like that happened to me, because that's terrible. I'm glad you beat his ass.
Oh yeah, and then I bust out crying. But I
couldn't. Of course.
Because you see, I hadn't lost my temper in a long time. I had a temper that I was afraid of, but I would lose it. And I was under control, had it under control for years until he did that. I saw red and I was choking him and stuff like that. And then when I realized I was actually choking him and stuff like that, I bust out crying because I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't want to hurt him badly, But he turned into a little pervy dude. Yeah, years later, I found out he actually kind of liked it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that was the second time I did that to him. You think he would learn his lesson? He did the same thing again. Okay. All right. For a minute there, I thought my my thing had dropped. My Wi-Fi had dropped. Okay, let me. Okay, I never got around. I've been so busy talking. I never got around to do my vid chronicle or do my uh, um my Fair Use Act. I guess I better get around to it now. While I'm thinking about going down memory lane. Okay. All right. So let's cover our base with the Fair Use Act. I'm going to do a big chronicle. This channel may contain content not authorized for its use by its owner. However, according to Section 107 of the Copyright Act of the United States, the fair use, I repeat, the fair use of copyrighted work for purposes such as criticism, yeah, comments, news reporting, only for those that don't know, teaching, well, we're going to learn something new today. Scholarship or research is not an infringement of copyright. I don't know if y'all can see the expressions I be doing when I be doing uh this fair use act. Y'all be laughing y'all butts off. Okay. 26 degrees. Oh, okay, hold on. I mean my computer moving slow. Okay. So we're gonna do a big chronicle, all late and stuff. Let me put link. Okay, let me put my link out. Okay. All right. Okay. No, no, that was something I wanted to comment on. Uh, okay. This one is kind of interesting. It's a little out the box. I thought I knew where it was going, but didn't quite. Okay. So here we go. Okay. Well, I guess they assumed because of the heavy makeup and stuff that, or maybe they heard her talk. They thought that she was a man. Um, with all the things with the particular alphabet people uh insisting that there are women that they are feel what women feel and stuff like that, and they trying everything. Um, some people could have jumped to that conclusion, but in this case, um, was this woman is a woman, and she just like to be made up. There are some women like that, um, be heavily made up. Um, they won't go out the door without their makeup on. I have a friend like that, and I'd be like, "Well, wash your face and go. Wash your face, put your lotion on, and go." But she gotta have her full makeup. As she like to say, put her full face on, makeup, base makeup, eyeshadow, eyeshadow, lipstick. Yeah. So I guess I could say maybe should mind her business, but you know, but hey, that was assumption. But I don't think all the women we did make an assumption, but I don't think all of them were harassing the woman. Just one particular woman. If I was the lady that just thought that was a guy who was trying to understand what the wife was go through, I would have said, no, no, I'm not getting kicked out of there. Whew. Okay. All right. So, let's see. Well, that's it for that Chronicle. I thought it was an interesting twist on it. Because I know I was thinking the same thing. Like, well, I don't know if it's that went into because the child said a man that's having a baby, or because that heavy basement. I don't see a lot of women that made up because that's even heavy for those that do wear a lot of makeup. But hey, some people be experimenting. Every not every woman is the same, so some of them do be comfortable or do all that, or they finna go to an event, and because they can't do the makeup themselves, they have themselves made up, or they finna go take some pictures. Oh, I got a couple of church members. They talking about doing it for me. It's like, no, don't need no eyelashes. We could do mascara. Want to use the heavy base makeup? I'm like, I'm not trying to do no glamour shot. Oh, but I guess it's just something fun or something they practice at because if you makeup artists um in the area, most of the time they do weddings and proms and people that's getting special pictures done and stuff like that, anniversaries. And then there's some women, they treat themselves to something like that for their birthday. They get all made up for their birthday, get pictures done, go out with family, friends, husband. Yeah. Although I don't know why they want to put fake eyelashes on me. I was like, hey, I got eyelashes. You just need to put some mascara. Besides, I can't imagine having them lashes bumping up against my glasses. And they said they got some short ones. They don't have to be long like hers. All right. So, besides the weather and stuff like that, which we're trying to not think about. Okay, so everybody has caught up with the Tory Lane thing. He's been found guilty. Um, and all that goes on behind that, that hey, whatever was done in the beginning, that's what the jury's going to pay attention to. So you can recant all you want. You can take back what you want. Everybody that reported when it first happened, that's what they paid attention to. Um, do I think Megan Thee Stallion regret not saying anything sooner? You know, covering for him because at that moment her mindset was that she did not want to see another man die. She think about because the person wasn't trying to. She wasn't thinking that she could have been killed. It could have been more than just her feet got shot during his carelessness. Yeah, and I guess she learned something new that hey, when you go to the police, when you go to the hospital when you've been shot, they have to report a gunshot victim at the hospital. Otherwise, I don't think she would have said anything about it if it was possible. Yeah. And hey, if somebody puts you in danger, pull a gun out to shoot at you, um, this is no longer worry about protecting them. They weren't thinking about protecting you when they pull out a gun. So you got to get out of that mindset of protecting people that are harming you. Yeah. Oh, and okay. I guess I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. I've been telling bedtime stories. Well, I didn't call it bedtime, so I've been telling y'all stuff that been going on today. Um, Nobody want to come up and chit chat, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the evening. I gotta go finish cooking. Rest of y'all got things y'all gotta do and take care of. Peace, power, and unity. All right. So I think I'm gonna just go out with Christmas music. Hmm. Yeah. All right. Let's go out with some music.